Hi everybody, welcome back to a new video. Today I am going to be showing you, I put up on my Instagram this picture that I made on Photoshop, and since then I've been doing a couple for some different friends of mine. If you haven't got yours yet, it's because it's on the list. Now I need to get a picture of you. But anyway, I thought today I would show you how you can do it yourself. It's quite easy. You do need Photoshop, but it is pretty easy. It's just time consuming. So I thought I would give you the head start if you fancy doing them yourself. But essentially it's Photoshop cartoonified version of any of your images. Obviously this is a Disney picture of mine because I like putting them on my Instagram, and my Instagram is mainly Disney parks and things like that. But yeah, I thought it'd be pretty cool to just give you guys some Photoshop skills that you can use and do yourself. So I'm going to put myself in this bottom corner. And then we are going to be doing a screen recording of me doing Photoshop. So this is obviously the one that I did the first time, so you can see the kind of aspects that it's going to be like, the texture and thing of it all. It's not the neatest thing, it was the first ever one that I've done since I went to college, so it's first one in a while, but yeah, I like it. It's really cute. It's a nice thing for me and Tom to keep. But that is that, and then today I'm going to be doing this picture here. So faces are a little bit more difficult to do, hence why you'll find anyone who does things like this tends to try and do ones without faces in. So I'm going to show you this really simply. I'm just going to do me for the time being. I will do the castle and stuff later, but I'm just going to show you how I do myself. So the body aspect. So obviously this is in Photoshop. I have the 2020 Photoshop because I have the subscription. So the thing that we're going to need the most is we're going to need windows, we're going to need layers, which are here. So I've got my history here and my layers here. The thing you're going to need to do for this is just keep adding layers. Like, layers are your friends. So if we zoom in on me, all I ever do is use the selection tools and the paint filler tool. Sometimes I do paint things in, but paint filler is so much easier. You'll see why. I also don't get like flyaways of hair and stuff here, so this will all be gone. And I don't tend to do background stuff, so I will never do this, like this pushchair lady will not be here, obviously this light will not be here. I will just do myself. And then the castle. I can't even try and get rid of this light here by working out where the castle would go. So yeah, that is basically what I'll do. Let's get on with it. So here's obviously anything that is an actual shape, I will try and get that shape. I obviously also, oh yeah, you want to be selected on your layer. So always select on the picture, but then make sure that when you are filling in, make sure your feather is on 0px, otherwise it won't select anything. So obviously I try and neaten things up, so I'll make these ears a little more round and like just things a lot neater. So yeah. So then when you have got your shape, obviously go on to the empty layer. And then I use the ink dropper tool to get the colour roughly, and then the paint tool, if it's not come up, is in the gradient bit. And I just fill that in with that. Then you can go around and erase off the bits, like with the eraser here. We can take this off my head. I just select that, and then you go back onto this layer here, and then with your eraser tool you can get rid of just that bit. And then deselect that, and there's your ear. So Obviously if it's slightly smaller than what it is, it doesn't really matter. Like this is slightly rounder here, it doesn't really matter. And if you want to deselect the bit that you want to deselect before even filling it in, you can do that. Just go around it first rather than second. Just like that. Again, selecting your colour, making sure you're on your background layer. I tend to select the same colour as the previous one, making sure you're going back on your paint layer, fill it in. And then obviously when you've done, you can see that that is there. And then obviously when it's done, we'll just not be looking at the background layer, and then we'll just choose a background colour. So if you add another layer, it will need to be underneath that layer so that the colour is behind. And say if I wanted my background to be light blue, when it is done, the whole thing will be on a light blue background. So let's just unsee that for a while. I tend to start at the top and work my way to the bottom. I don't know why, I just do. So yeah, that is mine. You can do it in whatever order. There is no specific reason or rhyme to anything on Photoshop apart from technique wise. Right, see, that's what happens when it's on the wrong layer. So that's on the background layer and it's coloured in the actual picture, whereas when you're on your actual layer, it will colour in the whole thing. And like that, that's not red enough for me, so I am going to change the colour of that a bit by making it a slightly brighter red. And I like that a bit better. Once I've done this, I always look at, see this? There's gaps. This is where I will use my paintbrush to go in between. Oh, make sure it's high enough to go, and make sure it is on a hard brush. I also do things with this, get another layer underneath, and then you can just colour it in. It makes it slightly easier just to fill in the gaps of things, because you don't have to worry about then getting rid of the things you've done on that layer. Just add millions of layers of all of your difference. Just remember which one's which. Ta-da! Okay. Basically everything is like that, so you don't really need to listen to me rambling on now because I talk to myself. So everything is essentially same technique. Choose your colour, select your place, put it in. I don't do things like hair bubbles, so you'll know that, but you'll see that I do the pulled back bit of my hair a bit lighter than the underneath bit, so that you can see that that is a different thing of hair. But yeah, you'll pick it up as you go along. Photoshop gets a bit technical and a bit tricky to remember where everything is. So if it is your first time having a go, don't fight against yourself. Photoshop took me about a year to fully understand, so yeah. until you put the body in. So obviously this looks pretty crazy right now, and it makes me look like I've got an octopus for a head. But once you put the shoulders and everything in, it will make it look a bit better, because if you just do like block hair and you got rid of all of those like tiny flyaways, it would look a bit strange unless your hair physically was like that, because the way your like body is positioned and stuff, it physically wouldn't have been like that unless you did like brush it out, in which then the whole shape of it would be completely different. So yeah, just add a few of your little like stray hairs in here and there, just because it makes it look a little more realistic, even though it isn't realistic because it's cartoony, like, and I wouldn't have just a straight line of different colour hair there. Just do it anyway. It makes it look better, trust me. go around with the eraser. Obviously, as you can see right now, I am neatening up the hair, so I'm on the layer that I know is the hair. So you just erase any of these bits that you know are funky, like this. And then obviously down here, this edge isn't for me. I don't like on the outsides that fuzzy look, so just gonna go over the edge and get rid of that fuzzy look. There we go. I would just then crop that down, just like that. There we are. All done. Okay, so obviously I did the t-shirt grey because I couldn't be bothered to do the checkered everywhere. That took so long. That was the most tedious bit of the whole thing. But I also don't like it grey. I only did it grey for the purpose of this video. But yeah, so I really like it. It turned out really good. When the castle's in the background, it'll look really cool as well. Not too sure on that blue background, but obviously you can change that to however you want it. I would probably do it the blue of the sky once the castle's there. But I'm really quite pleased with it. It's neat, it's everything that I wanted it to be. So yeah, I hope this helps you with anything that you want to do in Photoshop or anything similar. Or if you want to make one of these of your own pictures, it's super easy. You just have to have obviously the time to do it. But yeah, I hope this helped you and thank you for watching.